or what? Madam no cho edu say na mambodi ni amfa nche mwati say na woda anti Sandra say o my happy birthday madam edu say no pay Sandra special say o my happy birthday sanso na Mrs. Vada Miriku awo Mimos place also wa woda na wo ma Sandra ama ene akusua so my happy nti any birthday wo ho oh auntie nti Auntie Vida no pay happy birthday to you. Ye nyina ye ma happy last 2 weeks and last week. Last 2 weeks Sunday no me ba ho ebe di banku eni nkruma. Ai me ba na yasa. Inti underground na me nyae ba me boy ne koyi pa. Ti Mrs. Vida Miriku anopay ye ma happy birthday Sandra ama eni akusua ene bra eja. Ye nyina ne wo maba me musu nyina ne adwumafo ho nyina se wo ma happy birthday adwada be eyemi nua madamfo bi birthday e fe no abo otontais e waboso kan okamo na me ku no ho eye abo birthday dwada ebe nti abo happy birthday in advance on behalf of executives and members of Monami Social Club Dansuma Fancheme yen na yema in advance nti party ene ye be party and asena mande no kura so aso nti na eno anopay maminchia menua bi okuma kwabena boaten do no friend kwabotu okuma ase osie ne bra pani ewo kumase nde nti kwabena boaten kwabotu anopay me ma shade sanso na ene na wotwe ena jensiamwa eku baba ko ene usuku baba ko ene prempe be chese kumase ho no wo kan se ku nyina bomu a wo mu nyina ya busua ba ko ahwere no ho ahwere ba ko ya nti memi da bai ene yakopon ya domu a ye bepe no korabre ewo kumase memi da bai na wotwe ye ene na wotwe ene bepe ne korabre ewu kumase nti we de obi biara awo jensiamu aku no mu ene ons na prempe na fi almighty concern for a eyesi yesere so no ebema ye ho hyeden pa ebre no so a ye nyina ebeba abeta akiri na yaye ama no aifefefe anopa ya bedwafo a mesaka omo ofie ha ame no be hye nkomotwetwen ase aye minifa so pe Alfred Thompson oye MPP ni mapa enkane na ono na oye is it deputy managing director edema NIB National Investment Bank say no National Investment Bureau NIB bank ewu ase ho question I will be say here there be me bisa sam dey na egu aha say won anka obete there be me bisa enti say no NIB National Investment Bank aha na you san NIB ba ko eno National Investigative and Investigation Bureau any are different from National Investment Bank ba ko bureau enti ni NIB ahodo minu ne wo ba ko bank ba ko ye enti NIB foforo na ba ni enti na che say old one egu there be me bisa say no make NIB a say bitu bi chirim say bitu bi chirim say NIB a make bank NIB na make na mo enye ojam minu ano no say bia boko already so o she ho ayi bia boko de adom na pe de wo be de me hu say we twati pa nti why this way de me fa ni agro nti me say me next time kwaba me mo bia komo lady ama say na nka wo ma me this way mpo na me no mo enya hwe o lady hu hia me enya late o lady na say adwene kono so so no nya kwa me de bebeko o me wi a me kwa meje akwa no insuru kra ana fe bi benkum so na ni de di kan a oba dwuma de so oye lawyer ni na osan eka afafantoku no ho move for change oka ho ye friend no appear dankwa ene ni de di kan a oba dwumadi so lawyer machi amini oboko biwa boko ngede radiance afafanto ho ai etufa mpa ai bon passe from kotu baby modum boko that's it and nafi the oka ho ono de waba hada eno ko hyemu na wasan aba wo ko hyemu chei pa na bibi ko hyeye no menya ne tie se ho ye papa nti odi free ba ye no ye be hwe ne age de Emmanuel Wilson aye anti corruption campaigner se wo mo a katahye ne proye wo mo sori tie se yempene yenhwe ne nsisi o man no ko form ne magodo no wodi makote ne pa yima akwaba
ya menua me hu ache watare ye me fe
me dansi atade we me ma mu nyina makoto bi ahye perfect man
say made in Ghana
made in Ghana
that's good
yes made in Ghana perfect man for and design sizes colors baby will be up and down will be a top nkwani inti mi wia mama mo number that's St. Phillips perfect man for na ye na St. Phillips and a ton
okay
inti me bomb number mi bi program na no bia twere no bia so akokọ gene de e ma me ho ye fa papa
that's good
mu wia no magi maka enti no pe yen chance na yenhwe ensama hodo edi akotene na wotwe mu yi ansa na wotwe mu a ye ka special prosecutor de by na Dr. Baumia eso yesi wa madinu contract bi a contract no de man no eye bloated conflict of interest corruption wom ene ne ma etitesa eno nso ewo ho na afi yahwe asamba ko eno nso sorry hija finance minister so pagana for chew say DDP na ho kiro ekumu no pagana for chew hu nsam ye bibisa say chew pa no pa chew say wodan ho nasefo ye beka ho asem na fi Dr. Baumia say see a innovative way say na be betumi agigi tool a ebeboa ma ye benyeska na ye de aye yakwan ahodo nyina na asem wo kan before 2016 say innovative way betumi agigi tool no it say yetumi ye say na be ya say scan e beje kwa betumi aye kwan wo bra ye nkopa besia emfa ma ye kwan nti wasan ka bio 8 years on na ye bisa say ade na all this one yetumi enye dey sa to no emfa anya kwan no na o kan say mi say ye wa kwan do bi ti say it's gone ebia jowuluni ni potamu ene cantonment no ne laboni no mo na wo akwan papa rich omo akwan papa bo mu ntuato mo ekọ kasoa omo ekọ nsamom omo ne tuato it's unfair nti empe innovative way bi a bebi akwan no wo no ye betu agigi to how do we gigi to around these areas aya samwa ye bedi hu enkom
how do we dey
gigi to e was our areas aya samwa eno so ye bedi hu enkom na no pe nti we de ye kwa anisa ahya anisa na ye hwe ma me hya semfa mfiri so yima say ade ba ko a before 2016 election assemble ko a NDC MPP for the campaign pa sa kane mampeni John Dramani Mahama Airbus in some no say government official one mampeni Dada Mahama na wono na wakwaje besia wo Airbus ne tomu ani hu sem bibire ya ka ma ene ne nyina akrampo no ya ka wasam to say OSP abaka say ehwehwemu a waye no e kire say government official one no if you say mampeni Dada Mahama na mum wo ma yehwehwemu nyina ni nyama nyina wi no wo hunu bo ba bia se mampeni Dada Mahama eje bribe awosa Airbus ni tomu ma yehwe bebia petition ni fie call OSP office ye di kan na fe yehwe de ekowurawura mu ama US na UK court so kan sama hodo bi ene the final year OSP diaba no mamiti wadwen kire wo ho 10 minutes
medas maminchia etifo ni ahwefo nyina ni minyanma ewo ahanomo you see the truth of the matter is this Airbus in semi ehyasie obi bia onya opportunity to read the court proceedings and a court reports judgments for UK US and I think France also study documents very critically, you will find it very difficult to say ubetime establish any element of corruption in it. And you know, right from day one, when this issue of Airbus, Eshasia, Miminya opportunity to read the judgment, you know, the Mekache when say it is really much I do about nothing. And now I say wild goose chase. In the Crown Son as special prosecutor at the report of Babetujano. Now your position was that at the way you're very confident say will be able to identify any corruption or corruption related matters in it. Indeed, when special prosecutor didn't report Betujano, it didn't surprise us. It was more like a confirmation of your position and Yekita dida. Indeed, yeka corruption. There are other forms of it, especially this part of your country, you know. The very common ones, a conflict of interest, nepotism, you know, ensuring say there's no value for money. Those are the very common ones that we see daily in our public life. You see, even with issues of conflict of interest now, one of the things that is say we identify a motive. And to don't say obi betimi engage someone. Obi betimi clearly say oh akweda you engaging in dey bia a relation or you nua your warfare or whatever. You may want to say there is a possible conflict of interest in there.
Okay.
But the question is the motive behind also drives it. And it is the motive. So in law, you need to identify the two elements. And because corruption is a criminal offense, you need to identify the two elements.
Okay. Just
as it is done in any other criminal cases. Into the intentions and the actions. What you say. Now, again, so read the report. Now, the first thing that comes into your mind is, Ana Omanpenyin Dada rolling, Mahama,
yeah.
Or engaging in any conflict of interest, because it also involves ne brother company. That is also a question that comes. Meanwhile, with us doing any investigation, you will see that there's a possible conflict of interest. And that's why it is always important to say the law enforcers will do the necessary investigation, because largely what they identify is the intention. Uti, and I read the report now, special prosecutor concludes specifically say interrogations and investigations are who said there wasn't any ill motive. Adjumboni bia enter ichi. It somehow defeats that element of motive, whether or not there was any negative motive behind the whole thing. You understand? As I said, it was for me. It was very clear. Say you be do some pensi. But what we should rather be careful of or to be sure of is that, look, at this particular stage, a whole vice president, then, why will you even want to engage your family's company in this? Even though motive, no, it is clear, say, unkra any bad motive, but you see, corruption also deals with perception. It's very importantly, the fact say ubetime created the wrong perception in Kwano. You don't even engage any of your relations into it. Unim, senka this investigation ambambe tuja ananka categorically. Special prosecutor in Sisu say me investigation there was no negative motive. Inka by now, people will still be speculating based on perception. Because Omanpenyin Dada or engaging in any or engaging in corruption. So omun to me improve crassy secure exchanging hands because the fact so useful ne brother company it raises the issue of conflict of interest. So the point is for us to avoid all this unnecessary conversation, speculation, perception, I think say just like special prosecutor conclude say the advice of the man say in the near future as we move ahead so setting the behavior ensure say you don't engage yourself or any close relation into such a business.
And so in that some can say na kese man penida da mahama ehunu baby obetumi aye duro and then in consequence niema hodo ebetumi afri na namonto no wotu no beba nti na nkan se so de ho kwehye mu kura
exactly
na yehwe se ni nua na betumi ayade no a na se ni nua na ya what is wrong with it?
It's the same position I had when Senate decided some Motunton hotels Amabrani Champon. The point I made was that yes, so bet to me what is wrong with that? But the point is yawo adie nyina ho kwan benye bibia nso ne fata say you engage in.
Okay.
And now me know kasi one of the key corrupt elementa even me they associated the current president nepotism. And I've always said consistently say in this fourth republic in terms of nepotism the most corrupt president we've had the current president. But the question will be okay so appointing in ni relation ni adia so bet omube to me aya adia na monye. But the point again is it's about perception. Corruption is about perception. Obet to me aya no two ways obet to me aya. But the question again is you were over 30 million Ghanaians. Are we saying say the entire 30 million in a nebusia phone kwa betumi? Are you getting it? It's because you person you fight corruption, not the main thing you fight corruption, and your perception. You don't engage in creating that environment no cry and money happen. Look, over the past 3 years or so, corruption perception index I bet to in Ghana, your position has been very stagnant. 43. It means a ban of corruption fighter in terms of perception. Yeah, for the past 3 years under His Excellency Kufuor. But you see, the point of it is a perception index. Most of that perception, a possible crisis, a investigation, a say corruption being. But the point is, it's perception. Corruption is driven by perception, and that's the most important thing. And until sometimes other countries are to fight corruption. They create that impression for you to see say they don't even tolerate corruption. But behind the scene, possible say exactly. Are you getting it? It is all about perception. And you don't engage in a big creating wrong perception in terms of corruption in it. So Anna idea. And the vice president, Edi Enimubia, totally different. So vice president, no idea. And Edi Enimubia, totally different. But the very moment the point is, it ends up creating a perception, and that is extremely wrong. Who creates certain perception, it becomes very, very difficult to fight corruption.
And the current vice president. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, wono ne so ne brother dia and this for a press conference. Like I say Sunyane Airport a conflict of interest the kind and even contracting the man was bloated.
Right.
And then asifo. Sa perception some Korea can. One said Kalma Penny Mahama no advice.
Exactly.
The brother and no to play no and as we go by. Current vice president, flag bearer of MPP. Dr. Bawumia, or vice president, the brother, and on also Sunyane Airport. What does it mean? No, to who? Who say no? Mundim say idea will be to me aba, and per se the special prosecutor kind. None can say so. One more a young. It's so much me. What is wrong with it? But then they had the super vice president say, "Oh no, nada will maintain any new contract. No, Emma contract grano." This can be account. On that angle, you see, with the vice president, again, as I indicated, anything about that on corruption, perception, motive, very, very important. Yes, vice president, so it is similar to Oman Penyida Dadi. Was it because Ninya contract through the influence of Nebradan, undue influence of Nebradan? If there was something like that, then it amounts to corruption. The other thing here, yes, obey to me here. Processes involved award the contract because Matthew said yes, sole sourcing. Sole sourcing, yeah.
Now, if it is sole sourcing, you said there's a threshold for sole sourcing. The amount involved, did it go beyond the threshold? Clearly, yes, it did. It went beyond the threshold. If it went beyond the threshold, the issue of sole sourcing is questionable because we're breaching. if he went beyond, if the figure no went beyond the value you needed for sole sourcing, the other question the baby son say, how then did they award the contract to him?
Okay.
These are all questions are about out. But you see, this particular issue of sole sourcing is something that is so dear to my heart because I keep saying, say, your number one source of corruption, public sector corruption, Ghana, through procurement.
Okay.
And the procurement largely through sole sourcing. And only your number one, even this current government, almost one of almost think tank, almost the Dankwa Institute or so. Some years back, a year research normal finding out the amount of money a Ghana lose through sole sourcing. Our research in Beto just say annually Ghana loses $2 billion through sole sourcing. $2 billion through sole sourcing. And that is the reason why so Bekaya Embra or Mampininda da Kofobaso. Okay, so no their sole sourcing wouldn't be. Say a buying a comma contract. Now contract in $100. Say sole sourcing baby mukrobe making sure say be 5. Kitwebi. That is why, and all of us, some of us applauded him. But unfortunately, practically, when to me ambasosa, and then what happened is say threshold $10,000 because your person had them sole sourcing. Now say a contract quotation no $20,000. You to me catch us a breaking into two. Now you are into the same contract, you bet you into 2 and 3. So that amount, less than the threshold. Now at the end of the day, you didn't amount. So there's
and at the end of the day, now broke
threshold no cry. Okay. But because they awarded it to you in bits, you understand? And these are the practical things that are happening. As I indicated, with the vice president, unlike this one officially report about Betujan, this one it raises so many questions. I will also hope and expect a better investigation because first off, question I may be say whether or not you're qualified. For me, that's not even the issue. But question I may be say amount you demand sole sourcing. Is it an amount echo beyond the threshold? And from what I know, what I have read, it suggested clearly say it goes beyond the threshold. If it goes beyond the threshold, then I demand because it then breaches the whole sole sourcing concept and in the contract, it breaches it. The other thing is whether or not even amount quoted and now awarded the man it constitutes value for money. You understand? These are the issues I may expect to say you better investigation into it. But just it comes back to the earlier and say, why do we subject ourselves to all these things when it can be avoided so easily? Remember, say Dr. Baumia, ne brother case, ye the ma any of the investigative body and you may know your taxes and that investigative body need be used to do this. Since we could have used it for something else. A deal we could have been prevented so easily. So Airbus has seen me report about Betuja over the past period. Special prosecutor here investigation. Me know your taxpayers' money and our university here to do this report. Say or for aircraft for investigation. Call all you need to use it and know your taxes. These things could have just been avoided. And the same way Dr. Baumia will say, it could have also been avoided. In any case, why should it be just a family and not a relation? Penna you believe it so or no bit me a particular ejumama. Out of over 30 million Ghanaians are. If that is what happens, then we end up becoming a family and friend government. It won't even be a party government anymore. It's not family and friend. No wonder there are some of me and more MPP no because say, oh, even though my party war abemuno, I'm in opposition. It even becomes now it is not about the fact that don't party war abemu, but it's about the fact say who relate obia okra certain influential position ewo abani. And that is not how I build it on mine.
Okay. Me that's it. Alfred. Muna mode sa mampenda da mahama ne nsami eye campaign. Airbus nsam was one of your major campaign strategy. Mo kanya ma to Ghana for asum. OSPC wahwehwem. Baby a free let any free call na say free call any free mampani aso ye. E na call ye say wo mu hwehwem OS mi hwehwem obi be bisa say denti na ye mampani aso ye na edekọ obi so beka sesa mampani aso ye safata say bibi wo ho a obetumi aye hu bibi a eno no kire say ne abeso beko ti akata hye ne proye nti odekọ a enya hwe OSP so ahwehwem ahunu say mampani dada mahama ne ho son wanye adamudie bia awosasam na ne nua na ono krampo ye de saa sobo no bo no say ono kran so ne nama saa adamudie ne baa na say bribe no corruption bribe no baa no ono kran so enyo bia okogye se bia Airbus for no ekukuru sika say sum na fa ye bibi ete saa bibi saa eni ho say de your company ane o me bibi atu atwa muni asem bia ka bio
mention say na yo when that say
10 minutes
10 minutes. Oh, man, listen, 10 minutes.
And yes, they said me and I'm contributing.
Okay. That's it. I just wanted to put the ground in yo, Martin. But that's a P. You better a bit you be an pay, especially on more share na or Mampene Abedeche or Eastern Regional or Yen Juma ye, Dr. Alaji Mahmoud Baumia or Yen Juma or Eastern na their yen say Nyakopon Peninsula Obababe and Vice President Napo Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe on also Western Regional or in the Juma here we do my friends in Central Lumpo and run no danger inti ama ejuma na ekoso fefefe ye best MP before nyina say yen bomodin na yen yewe yen tawo mo echi na yen ne omo ye ejuma na yen ko fiefie na yen explain ejuma pia o mampeni ni na bedeche o mayama Ghana ehunu na intro ni kotompo ni akohwesema ye nuanom de nenam no etumi ayeye nti yeda na ase Airbus na matters arising. First of all, make correct impression back one menu create say there's a threshold for sole sourcing and there is no threshold for sole sourcing or single sourcing. There is no threshold. Into researcher mestre say there's
no threshold.
Yeah.
It is also so sourcing not
the contract
amount involved, you know.
It's not, they don't have say ABI you can only do sole sourcing when it's $100,000 and below and now $1 million and below. There is no threshold. And I've gotten the AE from my friends and Procurement, National PPA. Yeah, etusumi you know. Time ye campaign no. The most important thing na ye they say who was GO1, government official 1. And not everybody in MPP wanted to know, and Ghanaians wanted to know at that time. So Ora Amedu bar out now obeyi chair and say the GO1 was a former president Mahama no. Okay idea okay chair no. Or say a stupidity. Eye jimie say my friend say Ora Amedu beba bebono say onu no ye GO1 ene say ye nua kisi etumi aka say GO1 ye onu na hweni no ho say oye bone dia onu je waje atum eno de enye stupidity eno de enye cowardice eno enye hwe ya eye ahobasha o de share Ora Martin Amedu because he had just mentioned say this GO1 Ora Mahama. The whole thing is here before 2016. Everybody in Ghana knows that under this fourth republic, corruption corruption. Now you Jari Mahama. When you see Mahama, you see corruption. Oh, na so be any. I mean, Airbus no the only thing we the former boss. Yamin Fanny Crency ye Ora Atamils. Okay, embryo. Embryo so a plane. Are all instigating investigations into the embryo scandal. Time or call Ministry of Defense, co-sign here as acting president. Time Ora Mills to Quine. You know, Oba presidency, no Oba prove because he was the acting president. And then Ora Mills put investigations into it.
And no outcome here then.
Yen outcome no.
There be see to me who send a say
up to now so I record now e bar out now yenya snipers of it no e yira ayira to date nti yen bi so owura Mahama na say record na ye wo no ho no Atables wu ye no record no wo hen. That is the question you should be asking him. He was the president who took over. Now when you are there if you hold my dear na here na na do ba go hwe den draw am.
Ye to me hwehwe me yehu. The sense the transaction was between Oman no and Adwumaku bi. Enti ne say Oman no de na ayira say Adwumaku no de wo. Anka between hwehwe say de ye.
My point. Mahama emphasize white paper nembra. No Beka say he didn't have a hand in the embryo so that they investigated him. In the same way, me president say Obi one man contract say on imported planes. Work offer phone a friend no to follow up for you. That's how all contracts. 200 schools no see Obi CC na Wednesday no. Of contractors ne or more involved they say I didn't want to see 200 schools no. Did he do that? 30 assembly members now can say 2012 or taking over office pay or be making sure say assembly members are all paid no of our phone for assembly members in Ibisa almost say ye na. You see, let us be serious and realistic. And I'm glad say Omankasa Ajiatum say OSP no they are why any Airbus is the party and almost say OSP no there on your papa. But Mahama ne there he's okay. He's done well. When would the contradiction, the lies are NDC for Modena? The Omodia, it's okay for them. And yeah, Omodia, the person is not good.
And his special prosecutor, the other day, Momo stand the one they were him.
He's doing his work. The party, if they have anything, will issue a statement. The party, if they have anything to say, will issue a statement. But Deputy General Special Prosecutor, Ayene Juma, the Ayeme Denny say, see, I don't have a gun of when you name who say, Saji O1, Aye Mahama. So it's not stupidity. It's not Jimmy. Say, Ahmed Dukan say GO1 year Mahama no, Ayo no. And it doesn't end there. There's the fourth scandal, there's the contracts near Adia Ekoso. When it comes to the Fourth Republic and corruption, Rollins Aka, Atamus investigating no. Nanadwaka, everybody is saying it.
There is Obiaka. We say a perception.
Perception also say nipa na perception.
Perception say we say eja kwabena beba me pa cho.
Okay, we dey.
We say eja kwabena. Me hwese do titi a opebe pa aduane pa.
Na wo pa aduane.
Eye wadwene na wo dey bu. Enso wo hunu say o say mididi, aduane de mididi. Okay. Wo hunu say e bia me di aduane bi aduane no wo mehunu yi. Ba wo de wadwene na ebu say mididi pa. Nti obem say wo so didi da. O say there be. Oh. And say wo so didi da there dey na so pa aduane pa. Enti me fa ni say perception why you corrupt or you corrupt. E dey na so corrupt. E say etumu say ojiade we e won character so say message yampa.
Ya bo bi a kire.
Alfred ye corrupt no. Ojiwe enti na betu aka Alfred ye corrupt. Enti say entumi aka bibia dey say entumi ka say you corrupt sa.
Ya bo bi a kire, ya kire of fraud, perception of fraud. Ya kire perception of embryo. Ya kire perception of even the GO1. Ye cases are able against him.
A perception and I say real.
A perception no. A then what say corruption ye then? A perception. Yes, I mean you can. Yes, I know can. Say corruption ye then. Any perception. It is a perception not why dream. We will say ni pakrono oje Ford nisika. Oje Ford, oje embryo of fact phone. Efre ewo your friend say Airbus one. Any perception. OSP naka. Say offer phone free. Na on to me come home. Say ebia free or free no. Eye free a ebe benefit no and I am benefit no. But when the aye den say abrochi ho no omo aka say nkrofo na omo kan Airbus asem no. What was the main ingredient of the document? Say they gave bribe to officials. One of the key official was government official one. Government official one says here ajatum say or your government official one into yes stupidity and your cowardice but or your government official one it is say or no aka say or your government official one now US who say in the UK or who say GO1 no ina oye we ohyechi na ye man bibia let the public decide.
Courts how do me no US in UK no I can say specifically say GO1 or GO2 GO3 whatever ye the sika ma omo say such amount of money the omo say ye the sika say e ma GO1 ye the sika say e ma GO2 e ma sika say e ma GO3 courts no I can specifically
courts no call ye omo friend wo Crown Court lawyers ni Crown Court here from what is the case about? Say bribery allegation. Not until say yes. Airbus for no. They told them say they should pay some penalties and things for the allegation. It is a once I will go to your penalties. Nature so why you have to say ampa me ye boni bi. And now 1 year bonia 1 year bonia we bet me akotua penalty when we say court in final or final on a particular charge what was the main aim of going to the court say nkrofobi your friend say Airbus for no ama nkrofobi bribe part of those are your bomb din wo bribe no mu no GO1 and nda because almost whether they gave bribe or not. Now they have agreed say okay we use money to influence certain people until the sikana influencing crowd na yeah they say we share penalty which they went to pay. Until if they've gone to pay, then it means that truly no, they influence certain people.
And let's just say it contradicts what this OSP.
OSP, oh yeah.
OSP, I can't say. Man, penny that no song. Say one, my time say me. Oh, me common because common with them, my media now we made it. I can't come. There be who here pa? Who say?
Me say court no.
Aye US ni.
UK Crown Court no. Fine Airbus. No mo kotua aye. Until once you've paid no. Me say money bi wo hunting na wotua.
Anything be say no, not their special prosecutor.
Their special prosecutor. Which one or sure? E be a telephone conversation one TB. Because if a telephone conversation you are recording.
As something in a box on bribe. And
the main
one sikabia. Well, who said or the sikabia?
Media minim say Ekosuni say Mahama in the Fourth Republic. Say we are both president. Be the Upa Google say Tiana Bisade, the most corrupt president in the Fourth Republic. Ebobo Mahamadin. Obianim. Everybody knows that the Mahama was the most corrupt president in the Fourth Republic. Inti enu yanfantu nchen. Yedi atu nchen.
Inti emphasis Dr. Bamian so nkofu go say he's the on kan okro Ghana and no so yanyi to say no correct.
Oma kasa they are call out say Bawumia they made to mention how many times over 100 and something times Bawumia is a liar. Almost first year almost sorry. Jacob na.
Yes bro.
Why won't better me case?
Me no kasa mitie.
Thank you very much. Me di nkomo. In America there e wo makoma me ichel. Whatever perception you two want to form is your own perception. But me catcher will say Mahama, everybody knows in Ghana.
We see a Google.
Oh, it's not only Google. Me say everybody knows in Ghana. You and me. You and me.
We see a Google.
Google. It's Google name say okay. Mami you and me and most people in Ghana know say Mahama you're corrupt.
I was down.
Why when you mapi huma bubo biachel. And everybody knows that everything he does, the first thing he is doing is to make sure say then no benya film and son obey.
And Dr. Bawumia brother contract or the my
are we coming to Bawumia's brother's contract?
Yes, and also
now
but you can come person be questions be about Kanma Pendier but you say and this for so Airbus boss say Dr. Bawumia. Are you speaking
on behalf of NDC and I will be some question?
That's some I can come on you are what topics you send them out.
Topics I will send them out so who be some question NDC 4% bisa omo bisa na me response.
There be questions
NDC 4 send you questions.
Topic edema wo no topic edema wo Alfred Thompson a wo ti a we former the deputy managing director edema NIB wonu say na be wonu that's what we do for you wonu say ye dey no kora na ye adwuma no topics are me producer send edema wo no 1B no or see NDC accuses Bawumia of awarding contract to his brother via sole sourcing. Again, the producer send them out.
Into my main piece of first question, will producer idea was send them out.
One send them out.
Or send them out. No send them out. So or send them out. No send them out.
So one send them out.
Or send them out. And I'm saying maybe one question, one first question, and say PPA e wo ho na omo yes so and omo ma so Bawumia na ete ho. Baumia na head of TBA
question we are. Me say and this for board Dr. Baumia so boss say it's a some press conference. Say woman in your contract.
And it's only if
what
if they had something to do? Now, what about the alternatives they have?
And you so sourcing. I'm always saying inflate the cost of the project.
That project now, time and this almost person. What was the amount involved in it? Near 25 million. No, be for 8 million. Over bloated. When they wanted to do it, was 25 million. Check the records. They couldn't even raise the money. And when someone is doing it for 8 million, we say over bloated. Almost bloated now say. Almost over bloated now say. Yeah, almost kasa. Almost check it.
Okay.
Well, they should stop deceiving Ghanaians and thinking that they've tried. I say, Dr. Baumia, almost say anything. Almost started with corruption and almost started with lies and almost started with them. Almost can say, or say Obama training school near there or went to me and then training school is in Medina no. Bakoso wo Kumasi, bakoso wo your friend say Ashaman. Into idea or omo try say ombe no is to just paint Dr. Baumia black. Say Dr. Baumia Dr. Baumia tisa, Dr. Baumia yesa. They are not getting it. There person Ghanaians person omote will end this for honey say instead of wasting your time and focusing on Dr. Baumia now we person will send it here and because let me tell you something, when the grace of God is upon you, no matter what a man will do, the grace will make you flourish more. We will try say we need before. We will say no. Na nyankopon man so more. Inti dia mo be ye bia some be say anything no. They will fall flat. They will fall flat. They should come out with their alternatives as ruling a government. That is what we did.
Okay.
In 2016 we did it. In 2012 we did it. Okay. In 2008 we did it.
Okay.
And I'm telling them, say, even Dr. Baumia says you all around, are there all canina? Yeah, the alternatives he's bringing, like reducing taxes for the people of Ghana. Or more importing your mebano says yeah, shipment cost near the end in our cost show. Into I say let us reduce the taxes so that even the shipment cost and no back or Ghana for an Ghana government. And so once I reduce the taxes,
importation are very
yes,
affordable.
It will increase importation, and that is what he's working on. To me, that is the alternative Dr. Baumia is bringing. To me, it's a woman who can say, oh, your koshini, or your sir, or your brother, contract. You are wasting your time.
Okay,
Mama. Before the night before he left the seat of government, while what your friends one signing box I did for New Year.
A night before, and or sign.
When you lost the elections,
and or sign.
Didn't you sign it for him?
Didn't he
sign it for him? But you know, who was that? Ghana for him. Ghana for Ayeni or Moka sign, and they know that when he lost the election on the 8th of December, I board results by 9th now. Obia who say your friends and Nana Akufo-Addo now why win elections. That is when they signed the contract.
Okay, me that's it. May I call a lawyer so now? Lawyer, what's here who near Alfred? And some work can. I feel that His Excellency Abakansa Sampiel and Sabakan Santino and Chebacon no so. Yentie Sam Koma Yedino. Alfred Kasimbi say Sadiana Koye Mawa and Obojo Nipano so. Sam Koya Mawa Unipano Umonye so. And you said OSPD sa report to Babontino. Deputy General Secretary Edema MPP Amayukono. Any MP Mnasebejani or MP MPP who say as someone OSPD buy no and shut down to Asumuntino. Attorney General Kabet to me assign I asamumu efishimu bill. Ama Deputy General Secretary no sasama can say their OSP no. One year na kwachiri ye e no de ho report aba we are lawyer ni asem we de achiri ye corruption perception I can wasam say we waje we baby a report no petition ni free eko OSP office report to the aba ene exoneration ewu mu ene amount for comment o mama no ba me tie won so de ne from Dr. Baumia ni nuan de na and this for this obo ebono no
we am fa akonya nchiawo we friends ya Michelle
sure
na mention ya Thompson as a great lawyer with a lot of things working
yeah you
mention Wilson and also to say I stand on all force with views no as stand of force now maybe happen there no as president me am echi na yombo mpa say you bit my adwuma ama Ghana who say me can issues be a person factual I just want to correct quickly case they call Crown Court no any reason what the judgment said and say or what the case was about no was about corruption allegations against Airbus concerning payment of bribe to certain intermediaries, not to, for instance, government officials. Two issues. Nowhere in the case, and almost say government official one or adject bribe. Almost a certain intermediaries. Maybe adisika. And also, whether this can raise it from the there's nothing in the judgment that said clear. Because if that was what the judgment said, then adding an OSP, why did OSP need to investigate what? Because if like a judgment can clearly, two, critical said, but say, Nanado de case in common OSP, none of the any day. Every as you say, you may go into it. None of the any day. None of the time say or say or boa in the fight against corruption Ghana na none of the time say or say or making maximum political gains out of it. And that question is very critical because of the reaction of the MPP. Because in yet say yet determine into all creating institutions that it is your obligation to ensure so maybe be able to make the institution no every year juma. And that includes not undermining the integrity and legitimacy of such institution to because OSP no and then you are undermining the very institution now. What's in your engine too? Certain institution are independent. I bet my boy fighting corruption. One can you are fighting against it. So then what to now what I'm saying? Oh dear, somebody come out OSP. What was your purpose? Was your purpose say on facts and findings be predetermined findings be embra? Now embra no political ambitions are now. You know, also about what force Muhammad say, or maybe his consideration, what is in it for me? Talk about political culture. Say, I didn't know your culture will come and under Muhammad, no. But you Muhammad buying, you who at least made me who the entire Fourth Republic. And then you did to say, you must sustain democracy, we have the right political culture. But you do a culture that is not parochial in nature. Culture, and you say, this is where I take it and what is in it for me. So, when I say, or the Grecia, Abaya, what fortify sa parochial culture, no? And another Abay. Oh, share, first of all, the party for considerations are already take competition on party. To share, in no be a seer, another don't hear Hoshe. This is a Brian Champo issue. Because if you come about conflict of interest, the among dangerous is ability to kill trust the public a war in political leaders. Because then can say a republic. So a republic and that is the two million a public in him. And a modern some politicians you say so no so engaging conflict of interest who transnational or allow on crop for a galam say on can share. Or the Democrat say who take his decision way. That's a party for making commentary, which whose focus is to undermine OSP now. Then clearly know what is for you, what is in it for me. That's what is for you. Because I didn't know on what basis now institution will make it a serious argument for. So some institution will create here and the boy might me a fighting corruption. Two, even so share certain allegations against another Angasa. One, Nebano a friend saying ambulance issue which is clear conflict of interest issue. We share finance minister say the use of data bank in all your procurement of loans, conflict of interest issue. We share Brian Champon issue, conflict of interest issue. Then we share Galamsey issues no, and then buying attitude towards findings and reports from the own ministers on Galamsey. We share a buying attitude there. I just said this is a buyer on having regard to public of interest issues. It is so no say a conflict of interest issues. It is a pushy assembly comma OSP no. You can't join my issue. Right, it's in terms of all forces. Okay, yeah. you wonder that president will push him out OSP, in the first place. What I say, but what is in it for the president?
It's necessary. Bibi or no benya dia free muti no de call.
Bibi be a woman say the
you can say so e bia yen kan say na obi be dream say bia yen so ye dan ne san say man pani say me den krati haban asem isi efa asemesi ho abede enti me de brew esan so wo de wo ho na hwehwe mu hwe say anya bia de ya tie no no kore se no kora ma ho sunsuanso mra se nya no kora so ma ho sunsuanso mra enti o de kwese ye na me nya ho faso ana se ye na no kora bi na edi
who say in the Bible say by your fruits you shall know them no and you say say bi adiba we bia no wo botan bi enti a oh yeah enti it could be sanado push because odogana or say or fight against corruption. It could also be say of course say as a politician a bit more boa the party. It could be. Now, how do we determine what is? And also the reaction after no also tells you because there is a reason. Now, I'm saying that it could not. The reason cannot be because or was some commitment to the fight against corruption. I'm not convinced based on how our handle position I did. I'm no examples. No. Finance minister, any data bank issue, no. Mama, Brian Champion issue because president, minister, attempt to public property. What yes, say, sir, attempt no. A bit me as say trust na public, in public positions and a public leadership, which can undermine a democracy in Ankasa. But one pameno. In fact, Obo chairman, now appointed no, extra article defending it. President one for this from Ampamio to reaffirm a commitment to the fight against corruption. That is one that was not Obotai. In any case, the other times also Minister for Employment and couldn't come. That is only committed to the fight against corruption. Nothing wrong with. I didn't bring champion. You didn't say anything wrong with it. It had to take a threat by a friend saying workers. Say the tools to her answer who take action. You share friend saying neighbor baby friend saying daddy issue. And so was the president's friend saying reaction to one-ton breach of conflict of interest issue. Never even source issue. When you talk about threshold, what kind of section 40 of the Public Procurement Act? Because threshold can't just be money, but threshold can also be circumstances. Threshold
the whole thing for me.
No. Threshold, no, it can be monetary, exactly. But threshold can also be circumstances. Fantastic. So you must prove the existence of this, and that before you should consider sources. It was section 40. One, I don't want to be proved. Say, it's you want to no pen or answer. You must prove. Say, you want to person or yeno or no pet and the one who answer. Or exactly what we prove. And now say your man contract ni be na a year continuation. Your man contract ni be say you want a continuation titino or no ankasa and you see for avoidance of doubt no. About my main kind section 40 no. Okay. Of the na clear say a procurement entity may engage in sole sourcing procurement under section 41 with the approval of the board where goods, works or services are only available from a particular supplier or contractor, or if a particular supplier or contractor has exclusive right in respect of the goods, works or services and a reasonable alternative or substitute does not exist.
Okay.
That's the question.
That's not called threshold.
I'm circumstances be threshold. I'm not circumstances be threshold. You can circumstances be threshold. What are you talking about? Circumstances be threshold. Okay. And not a threshold. Deputy MD.
Why would you do this? There were so many things I can make about allowed you into allowed you. Who's not necessary? I allowed you. NDC against simple question.
Honorable Alan Donkojo chairman.
No, but apart from that,
I mean, but Ghana. And you see,
that's apart from that. When you say, oh, can factor. It doesn't matter. So you in this scenario. Question it is so beside the all can and look and threshold that some okay. We go to our section amount. That is what threshold is not. It is threshold.
That's not the argument. They're talking about funding. Funding is the threshold.
Yes.
Can you imagine? When you talk about conditions to draw down, it's not threshold.
What is where there is an urgent need for the goods, works, or services, and engaging in tender procedure or other method of procurement is impractical due to unforeseeable circumstances, giving rise to the agency, which is not a result of dilatory conduct on the part of the. You see, you can go on and realize none of the conditions under Section 14 was fulfilled. None. So, based on how Nangasa conducting him as president of Ghana, his lack of regard for rules of procurement, for rules of conflict of interest, Nangasa breachy, then I do not believe, said the purpose, the reason, or refer case, MROSP, no. But how is it going to maximize political capital out of it? And more response after no lays credence to some believe no. It fortifies me belief in that because the creating institution or creating institution would make an argument as to the relevance of OSP in the fight against corruption. That's one kasa. One kasa one undermine or party for undermine OSP no integrity, the legitimacy, because wama a finding, which is contrary to what you anticipated. Like I said, what they call no, man found call because no person no care about. What they call because you are thinking say, what manipulate OSP no, ama what they find the about and we use as political capital against the former or a president of Ghana. Forgetting say. So more identify the office of the presidency no, on failure. More Ghana for but you only do that. You will not have regard to that because the full no, a full now you know as the president and as of a party for no, and yet because they love Ghana, and that issue be and they want to see it in the lenses of or your NDC or your MPP. Why can't they look at issues from the lenses of your Ghana?
I mean that's so irritating.
Why can't they look at issues from that? You see. So someone won't drink Ghana.
Why don't you do same?
I won't drink Ghana.
Why don't you do
What about UTV? Big platform.
Oh yes, it's okay. You should be realistic. Public nation.
Via propaganda. Because on Ghana, because on MPP home as against Ghana. Because you see, if there's one perspective from Sir case here, it tells you the weaknesses in their institutions in the fight against corruption. The inability of Ghana for, in spite of the law, no, lack of a commitment to enforce, no, in upholding the principles that ought to govern the fight against corruption. What's the need to know? Tama president for by say fighting corruption. Then it's necessary to create a strong and robust procurement regime. One, because if you say, let me say, that's what I say, all forces. Because perception is very critical. In Tokwa, and just so Ubetma you'll be own integrity, own corrupt. But when people perceive, say, own corrupt, they'll be on TSA. So the burden on you is not just to be not corrupt, but the burden on you is to make people believe, say, own corrupt. That's the burden on you. Enter the procurement, no, all your procurement is money transparent. The Munda will be advertised the tender. That's right. And this is all your procurement about month for and tender and tender B. Oh, competitive. Because also the moment when you value for money, also we protect public purse. Also we protect public purse. Oh, by ya, so now, or can say Bamiano or the Pipiana. Oh, no, yeah, buying. About four, maybe on Shabon about Medjani, no more. But man for just unia po ekekeno bit me ama people for no mutimi enjin. That's right. Just the fact say bom mania and when man fama no and na wo bom ya kwa who say unia call it is your duty for Ghana to tell about say stop because you can never win. It's a battle you can never win. So bom mania you never win that battle because you can never convince anybody in Ghana say wo ba me no enye wo na ukọje contract no e ma no. So it's not an issue for that enokra na enokra. That is not the issue. How will people perceive Baumienia say Yaman contract? How people perceive it? In that is what some person would make it political capital of it, no. And because we blew it, no. How are you going to defend that? Okay. So that's it. Into a timer, your politicians in Thompson, or your serious introspection, now or reaffirming the commitment to Ghana. Because they don't all your politics, and because of MPP.
My commitment is to Ghana.
They don't all your politics and all MPP for now. They don't all your politics because they say you're building your mind. Into no say, Oprah building my Oprah committed to the fight against corruption. Oprah building my or undermining OSP no. Oprah say building my say we party to be balanced and enquire on supporting because Ghana first all.
Me that's it. My yako your silence so. Na yes silence akwa ba yeda say wabedu na o kan say wenya mfie dioso nso o wa hoden ba de bia me no kra so mbo mame say ni mfie nyina echi no nya brede ma yo silence
me wo fa ntimi
na mate yan hwe eje ebo nya bedu awie Airbus nsem no ache ekwa na aba edu bebi edumu yi before the 2020 election and the sampage bio ena edum ya na yade akọ OSP 4 years on ye beto aba OSP ne hwehwe mu aba ne find this aba say mapenda da mahama ono no ye GO1 na mumu no hwehwe mu kyerese obi amana de mudie bia na sama wo kan ye hwehwe mu ode aba magya tum say eyawa wa tu ayasempa those in government so chere say OSP na nyina adwuma yi intimi say akra na attorney general akra betri bi ahwehwe asebudu mu bio ena bi nim say attorney general betri ahwehwe mu a aden ne yama ono adi kan hwehwe mu de de kuma OSP enti say OSP hwehwe mu no aye attorney general so kwa ne de awie na say the same thing na fa so be ne nya wo so say the same thing as contrary to what OSP has brought out now and also emma omanum ko yehu ana it is kasen nasefo mami tie o ene Dr. Baumia ko do amode bo ne se ni nua akokọ sunya na airport a eye so source na wa bluetooth figures no me dan say
yo Jacob na I'm there by the time I able to abai 2024 na akohwisem biara MPP fo what you to Ahmadudin Yankopan apan watam mark my words akohwisem biara MPP fo the to Muhammadin by the time able to aban na Yankopan expose one ye kan Airbus sam sesiara na mbo bia
yes sir
Airbus what the year did 2016 ma confirmed the Bahama or corrupt we didn't even know there son no ya Mahama na upon the Airbus when you deal directly but it was through his brother. What is the position of the brother? The position of the brother in there was the agent of the Airbus company. Now why more in the say today more company was you should and Crawford supply him this and that but say I will be the major my hand you more commission. Is this a new phenomenon? Lawyers.
I say it will be agent woman estate agent estate agent ebia ope dan na we di anim na wakokọ gida
we as lawyers ekoyem platform da obi turn it no better what is our interest the dan motanda menya mabaji bu commission is part of our business as lawyers. Na me fane there but turn me dan na madama council apia dankwa na ole si de metu ma tana mo ma commissioner oda me de ma apia dankwa no madama se otima welu wan fa ma welu ame meda no mehu emina my it's an agency relationship between Wole and council aramwa
and the wu ni mu bi
say council between Sikanema council the council and Amfa Mawele a yamasam some contract between Wole and a council am I a party It is some way Airbus hey that table you discussing about 3 times with Alfred Thompson. Sir, maybe let me check it. Alfred Thompson. And I'm pulling out between them. I'm pulling out what you said on the same table about Airbus. Here, fancy what's there? Such a fancy.
No.
In trying to do, oh, yours na cambo. There are some tools what? Yeah, chain.
Oh, so you know.
Sir, you better come. So I come there, but a cooler, ever bet that also for there are some tools on there. It will never go away. Okay. Now there was a war, commercial lobby, a war between Airbus and America for Boeing. And America for being who they are now, was able to prove his case. Airbus was taking contracts from developing countries, even including Russia, and was using unethical means. So antitrust law near there. That is what was at stake. It was not a war between any entity and Mahama brother. No, there was nothing like that. So in the end, Airbus said no, because of my international reputation, I don't want any trouble, because I then have to go to China to go and fight. I have to go to Russia to go and fight. I have to come to Ghana. Please let us forget it. And the British court, the American court, accepted it. In one of its reports, Omaka said, "Sir, system now Airbus for using intermediaries, it's prone to corruption because obi wa or be a penny bill baby." As for example, say in the case of Ghana, the agent now were Mahama Nuano, and Ninuya vice president, and therefore he was in a position to influence it. Don't forget, say Mahama even says Ninuano over 40 years. Numiano. He was adopted by missionaries. It's about 40 years. One Mahama no one found any crime there. It's on record. Now this man goes to win one of the agency contracts. Say, I will help you to sell the aircrafts. Sadia, it's an agreement between both friends and Airbus and the man. It's on record. Say, at the time, Airbus, if one who said Muhammad brother was politically exposed, wow, the contract between him and the Airbus was cancelled. Have you read that?
Yeah.
Have you all read that? The contract between Muhammad brother and the Airbus was cancelled.
When?
On and on and on. Somebody looks at this, says this, and that makes it as if he say Mahama has been bribed to procure an aircraft at Kalabule price for Ghana. The person who led the purchase and procurement was Major Derek Odro, the then Deputy Minister of Defense, and the man is not dead. He has spoken. The then Army Commander, may he rest in peace, Brigadier General Smith, had spoken. Say, the procurement went through all the armed forces inspection and all the regimes, they went through. Still MP before say the Muhammad comfort. And now, Amidu, way, I made a qualities against Muhammad 2016. You know, sir, one of the major pillars of MPP's campaign was Airbus. And now, I mean, Peboni, Mwankasa, Mu OSP, Mu appointing, Nanado, Etamis, at the command. Now, and then reference in quite instructive. The contents of the reference give you specific things when you and I will go through Papaya go through. Oh, no, Mahama cannot be convicted of any crime. MP before some Ghanaians. Because no. Once Papano was paid something, it means that we're grabbing the brother. once papa me you turn agency fee no agency fee o e just say what the other bribe ne brother so common sense way is you and when so common sense way is you and when this investigation has been going on since Martin Amidu's time Adamwa I basically say Japan say Alfred Thompson and I MPP for one more evidence and until one phone call and come a special prosecutor here yama Ghana for are you angry with the political class? That's true. And you and I should be careful the way we throw unnecessary invectives at each other. Then you will find that NDC Biankasa accuse MPP unjustly. That give me one example. I'm telling you, give me one. Give me one. NDC Biankasa MPP say. Nanyana cross the atomo so. Give me one. One. Debiano. NDC for na ya confo. Say Baumyampo. Because Mahama is corrupt and incompetent. Baumyampo. Because Mahama is corrupt and incompetent. So the issue of the Airbus in there, air bubble. You can't want to be a waste of time. Now, the other target that Mahama is corrupt and incompetent and what? I was at the Central University College and then Baumia Emma address now because Mahama is corrupt and incompetent. And look at what his reasons were. At that time, that CD jumped to 3 CDs, 14 pesos. And because of that, Mahama was incompetent. So by that criteria alone, compared that the volume of incompetence to what we are seeing now. That was what you must say. Between 3 CDs, 14 pesos to almost 16 CDs now. Enter Brumpo. And then the only way out alibi is rate of change. When we koto adia anasa okim no more porter. What the rate of change in that koto? So now Mahama cannot be said to be corrupt. Mahama cannot be said to be incompetent. That one must be buried. Always say if you are young, if you are young, right? Mahama's brother, your friend saying Ibrahim Mahama says, sir, I got more contract under Kufuor than my brother. He says this every day. Will he enter that?
That's true.
He gets more contract from Kufuor MPP than under Mahama. For example, yeah, no more accusing say Okojisika Merchant Bank, right? Check the date of the loan. It was under Kufuor's time. The loan now called Merchant Bank, it was under Kufuor's time. He had worked with the NIB, 181 Bisan. Oh, not one, he's a renowned banker. And he knows the facts. There, Mahama's brother, loan now called Merchant Bank. It was not under Mahama's time.
But no one has said that. Has anyone said it as?
Thank God that you say that today. No one has said that. Thank God.
They say he took a loan and brought the bank down, under the friends the limits of banking.
Again, but that was not done under Mahama's time.
Threshold.
They have the single obligation.
What I'm saying is, the fact must be established today, now, and forever.
Okay.
That loan, whatever the cost or effect of that loan, was not under Mahama.
But bring the bank down.
Two, you yourself brought a bank down, so keep quiet. You also brought a bank down, keep quiet.
I never brought any bank down. No bank has gone down. Or attacking me.
No, they were attacking Mahama.
They are attacking me. The brother brought the bank down. Thank you.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
Sir, Exxon model agreement here, exam cubic agreement here. Mahama, brother, no. when you have 3 contracts, mineral concessions, right? So person here mine, I was or somewhere, some other places. Intino, he went through 6 years. 6 years to go through the process. If you go through the minerals commissioner, now, every step you be the man had it, all the checks. Then he sits down and says he's there. Last minute, he signed an agreement for the brother. When you know, sir, Muhammad does not sign minerals agreement, and there's a minerals commission. There's minister for lands. With MPP, if anything happens wrong under Muhammad, it's the fault of Muhammad. All right? But with them, no, anything happens, oh, there's a minister in charge.
And he say, you kind of sad, I said, be a last minute no sign the man, and you know, not all sign. And so you're name say, or may actually say, or may ye sign natural resources, it's in trust. Buying the same penny. I was coming there. Was anything criminal about that you know? And then sir minds me say, oh, maybe I could Abusian our China. It's a say I can say some phone start here. A Chinese phone or more Irani. You are so wicked, sir. If the thing is even coming to a Ghanaian, you have a problem with it. Yes. And then the same Bahim Muhammad, the plane quite be issue. Jet quite be issue was part of the corruption of Muhammad. And then you have no shame. The cement factory, no more saline. All of you are trooping to go and congratulate him. Then we come back to the issue. Soul sourcing became such a big issue on the Ghanaian political landscape. Soul sourcing. Now, we thought to say, like Akufo-Addo said, soul sourcing is going to be a thing of the past. As we speak now, is it a thing of the past? Maybe I'm not NDC was it. Sir, soul sourcing here. Abe expose yi this one almost expose and auditor general come na this one na say what my so sourcing and say auditor general so why is he accusing NDC? Why is he accusing NDC? Some did also the press conference say
of course so and she said when you were accusing a previous government, say we are corrupt, right? And therefore you will not do soul sourcing. And until we hear a whole ministry of procurement, Obia MPP near the procurement agency, no, one put FSI phone contract to himself. Soul sourcing, I don't know. So he became the source of soul sourcing. And then roads are yedima kokoro ni ade nyina abede dey say Bawomia's brother, you see, is being given contracts on soul sourcing basis. Muhammad Nuano, a man, proper contract of the mining, it was bad.
That's true.
A man
that's soul sourcing.
Contract that was not soul sourcing.
I'm asking.
A man contract, you know, it was bad, even without soul sourcing. It is soul sourcing, and not only soul sourced, but overpriced, and the Yankan was them. This double talk, double standard must stop.
Okay.
Because gradually it is eroding the confidence that the electorates have in the election, the democracy.
Okay.
Now we, as NDC, we will not be allowing ourselves, we will be dragged along by MPP for corruption and stealing. We will not be dragged along. You can say, oh, NDC and MPP, they say, we are not the same.
But that's it. You say let's see. After me more 2 minutes. Now we are about to be.
That's it.
But I hope so. We have been answered too.
I hope so. You know, being a
Don't worry.
I didn't say munya.
I didn't say
What do you mean to you? Because some point
His Excellency ambassador.
And I be deputy MD.
Don't do that.
We are so everything I have.
One, I'll start with the Crown Court. The Crown Court cannot come and say there or prosecute and they are finding fault with any government official. But when you follow the sequence now, they said intermediaries. Who is the intermediary? Who is the intermediary? And why did GO1 come in? Is GO1 an intermediary?
You can't say that be a better agent. You can't agent and a Ghana for better.
So why did GO1 come in the statement? Why did GO1?
Jacob now.
Which became
listen to no. He has asked the question. I have the right to answer the question.
I didn't ask you a question. I didn't ask you a question. Why did GO1 come in? And who is GO1? And GO1 told us that it's a stupidity to call him GO1. Say yeah, court case no more. Now you say intermediary ni GO1 no. It's about the same thing. It's about. Man can say it is the same thing. It's about the same thing. Wow. So whatever the court said, said that monies were being worked for a particular person, which is GO1. Oma about GO2, Oma about GO3, Oma about GO4, Oma say GO1. So what we wanted to do is to find out who GO1 is. And we found out.
And then
you find it out first time, no? Or say a stupidity. Say your best friend is or a GO1. But say see second OSP buyer no. First OSP was say a stupidity. Second OSP buyer no be can say, oh na GO1 na ye can no. GO1 no papa way, but on ye boni bia. And no there oh NDC healing. Hey why you do?
Someone called OSP on some person who say who is GO1?
Who is GO1? Because who can GO1? Government official one. It can be anybody.
And you say secretary bia ni
it can be anybody. We wanted to find the veracity of who the GO1 is.
I don't know.
Oh. And na yako ye na ye hu.
And I'm saying I don't know.
Say see na onakasa about abeka say oh hurry because ono. And stupidity bio. The itesu nie no. When in procurement you cannot come and sit down and change procurement laws to suit your whims and caprices. In procurement, we have what they call the single source or the direct contracting. And single source no is one of the conditions to the single source as provided in section 40.1a. Into almost to be in banner and number say oh when we speak of and he was saying that when we speak of threshold in procurement, it's about values. Threshold in procurement is about values and not about conditions. So they should not mix the two. When you come into banking, now you catch your threshold. You are talking about values. The value of your friends and contract and amount I will say will borrow. So it goes on to tell us, and that is what I think he read. Procedure for single source procurement. The procurement entity may procure the goods, works or technical services by inviting a proposal or price quotation from a single supplier or contractor under section 40. When you come and you want to twist it to suit what you want people to perceive it.
I'm even confused.
I ask
what is he saying?
Why wouldn't you be confused? Why wouldn't you be confused? Because you have your own perception. Thank you. And I've sent you all the things that I just got from the deputy CEO from PPA. So you can verify it, you can check it, and you can see. And yet idea me create it out of my own whims and caprices, as people will do. And then we talk about when it comes to this Baumia's brothers thing, I seriously ask a question. Say, do people really pinch themselves before they say certain things?
Are they?
At the beginning, make I be say when it comes to NDCDA and it's about them, it suits them well. But when it's any other person, no. Nipakoni ayebone, and now on ya idea me and fata and say and fata. Dr. Baumia's brother started contracting way before Doctor even became a political figure. He started contracting.
So yeah,
When President Kufuor was even in power. That was when he got his first certificate and started big contracting. Under President Mahama, you know, he be increasing here. Yeah, an A1. That is the one of the topmost contracts I will bet me Ghana. It is a now what I say, I've been able to do A, B, C, D. This is my friend saying, my works are my until I can source for this. Then born in a while. And that is why I was asking a question. Say, is Dr. Bawumia the person sitting at procurement? Well, let me tell you something about procurement authority. When you go and you don't meet the qualification, they will tell you, Master, I won't meet it. Because Nipakro also is protecting his job. It's not about just going there and saying that, oh, because we're away, and now we're away. They'll let you go and they'll give you all the conditions in which you have to meet.
Yes, PPA for you, what can be about Dr. Bawumia brother and I Jumache or experience in my benda da Mahama time, when this is for time no more upgrade the certificate in Canada. Yeah. And the man from Subiani. Obisubeka say, I didn't know, or Ibrahim Mahama, so I Jumache.
That's all can say no can say president go for temple no discuss here we are
ono so yadwuma che
ono so kan
no be so betumi aye adwuma no
was singing it you me singing it
anti na say obi a de obi a de no ka
they hear me in America
and ono so de hear no da so ka anti na say mu mienu na nkasa no enye oman no na mo ka
na mo about the oman. Now, what you are talking about, what is it about? Isn't it about the country? It's about the interest of the country. Me, I believe, say, if Dr. Bawumia's brother is not qualified, they can strike him out. And
Ibrahim Tama,
and that's why I'm telling you that. He says that this is the procurement process you go through, and they have reasons for going for single sourcing, and the entity are better bromo before they will give approval for you to go for single sourcing.
Single sourcing, no, one can say so sourcing. Say I did so nipa no ewo ni mudie bi asa ni mudie no go to na bi awowo. And I say there are
various things that go into single sourcing.
One more eba be no so one more eba be ni bi obi ahoden enu adwuma no. Nti ehwa won kwa na wo de betumi aduru. To wo de betumi do de ma wa.
It's not only that. It's not only that. There are other things.
Yes. In America it say Ibrahim Mahama no so aye adwuma na ache. Na so no betumi aye. Na se ka ho asem
why not?
I didn't see except what can one my say.
You can
box IT.
They don't go into why they took it away from him.
No to me, I said
it was the final time of approving it.
Now,
when they had lost elections. When they had lost elections.
Is it because we're losing election? No,
losing election. I rush say yeah, man. And I say no. Go through the necessary procedure and apply.
Also, the 6 years in a firm.
Sana ye kan minim. Sana ye kan. It's one person who is supporting them, saying against the rest. But what I know, they say, at the time of giving him that bauxite concession, there was a rush in it. There was a rush, and that is where they had to revoke it.
My mom took 2 minutes.
1 minute. Maybe 2 minutes. If I appear down, why
not?
Because some can some boom on at some of
the Ghanaians are very enlightened.
Very.
And the truth of the matter is, the kind of politics and communication that you make in the years past now. Say working in the years past, it may not work this time. That's the truth. Again, we are moving away from personality, partisan conversation to nationalistic conversation. Into Ghanaians are more interested in whether or not Asema Onipei King are relevant, particularly is relevant to my life and my future. Other than whether or not you NDC ni and your MPP ni. It is on a platform now say we are speaking and the best defense you can give is, oh, we do NDC ni, we do NDC ni or you say ni. I think that thing doesn't fly anymore because you see, say or your NDC ni or so your NDC ni. The most important thing is say or your Ghanaian. Are you getting it? So me NDC ni, me NDC ni, me father NDC ni, okra NDC ni. Now the fact of the matter is, dollar in moving from 4 cedis to 16 cedis. That is a fact. That is the issue we are interested in. It is not about so this into that kind of 1620 attack and kind of conversation. maybe on a different platform you can be raising that, but not on a platform where people like this are on it. Now the issue of threshold, we are learning and people are being educated. Threshold. You see, even in procurement, it is threshold that will determine who even does the approval. Are you getting it? There are some things, so your managing director, you can approve based on a threshold. There are some things I must go to a board based on a threshold. Into you can sole sourcing, it has a threshold. That is a fact. Even based on the mini kind, that is exactly what I was going to talk about. That's still, you will not appreciate it. The truth of the matter is, those listening, they are discerning and they are watching and they are listening. But back where you me yaw kese. Back where you me yaw kese. It's when my brother was talking and making reference to the fact, say, the former president, he's involved in Ford scandal. He's involved in this, and the question that came to my mind was, Yamamu opportunity to lead this country almost 8 years on. 8 years on. Now, say more evidence say will be engaging in any corrupt practice. Now, to me, and taking the person through the process. Now, you retrieve whatever amount has been taken, and I am man whatever punishment that needs to be given. Now, almost 8 years, we are still receiving the same Ford expedition scandal, this scandal, that scandal. Then it shows how incompetent and how you wasting your time in making that decision. It means that the past 8 years, nothing has been. But in any case, this Ford expedition thing, I thought so if I could cry or unveil Adeneye Manasseh has come to give a different position on it. And we are still, yes, and we are still talking about it. I mean, for Christ's sake, sometimes your platform say we should appreciate the fact that one, governance is a serious business because it involves human lives. Secondly, whatever communication we are giving, you realize we are not just talking to zombies. We are talking to individuals who appreciate knowledge. They have knowledge. Look, in conclusion, this Airbus SME, I'm telling you, unya the court judgments now read there. You don't even need to have a legal background. A little appreciation of the English language, because English words you see. Just a little appreciation, and it will tell you right from the onset. Airbus even referring it to special prosecutor, it was much ado about nothing. But you see, in all of it, I keep saying, even though it was much ado about nothing, I was happy, it passed through the process. Even though, taxpayers' money now, it went into the process. It's passed through, and I'm happy because it still helps us to diffuse that perception. Whether you like it or not, the Airbus thing, just like the Ford expedition scandal and all those things, it has come to rest because it reduces some perception.
Lawyer.
Maybe opinion or maybe opinion. More than 2 minutes. Okay, for instance, first on the main canvas, I think I don't need to waste executive time discussing about intermediary and other things. The main canvas one, the threshold. So that's the threshold. What does it mean? Who's the Airbus threshold? Oh, England. No, we are no doors now. Almost some upliftment.
A limit.
Limit. Threshold. So, you use threshold colloquially. Threshold can mean commencement.
Exactly.
So I can say I'm on a threshold of greatness. And your figure. So in procurement, about sourcing now. When you use threshold, what means what circumstance? And I said, what will open or commence consideration for sourcing. But I mean, you use the word threshold. I'm supporting it. Yeah. What I say, a language, a brofo. So what are the circumstances that will open an avenue for you to apply sourcing? And the law is clear on it. That one should say exclusive goods no unkwana obi and now unkwana o nimdie. In the spirit of South sources, maybe an casano or make argument say na say mama nia or demonstrable skill. That is not the issue. That is not the issue. Because it defeated the principles, governing procurement. Yeah. Principles now the focus here say you person create perception of corruption. Into see the open tender. So also ni mabra, but just ubit my year. Records corner chentre. Supposed to say meet my year. I'm also mean tender. Also mean chair me records no. But people need to me say oh you are showing records no. Ubit my year no. Yeah. Have they, for instance, satisfied the threshold of exclusivity, of knowledge, Have they satisfied themselves?
Very important.
And never they. That's the question. You see, so
that's
for me,
another thing.
You see, for me,
and that's also another thing.
You see,
the other topics we discussed.
You see,
okay.
And you will fight against corruption. And it's a procurement act.
Yeah.
What I say? Or more leaders. Or more sticky strictly by the because the issue is not about the law itself. The issue is about how you are enforcing law, the lack of commitment to the enforcement of the law.
Yeah.
Moment you renew your commitment clearly. Thompson didn't go for you. How much I say omu principle biao. Now who say Ford expedition, who say some America 800 million issue. Mamia Baz brand. Unya chance, unya opportunity. Yes, by your words. Yes, by your words.
Yes, in fact. Then you can say you have to talk about this.
Property. I cannot say I have been created. One another yet created trust in you. Man for area Ghana.
8 years.
What about this fire brown green? I'm for now then I hear about it. Two. The chap of minister, I say friends, we are committed to corruption now. What have you done about it? Okay. Now, only finance minister or the company, friends,
who does that? Who does that?
Then I hear about it. So they should
morally, who does that?
Fight against corruption. If there's anything that is clear, I say. MP for me, any moral grounds
that's the question,
to stand and talk for some man to me. Then I'm fighting corruption.
You talk as all those guys are
now you stating say as if we want to bring the Ford scandal into
you mentioned it. You mentioned it. You mentioned it. You just mentioned it.
When you ask me a question,
you mentioned it. You mentioned it. No, you mentioned it.
Get your facts right.
Don't waste your life. 7 years. What have you done in fighting corruption in this country? 7 years. What have you done in fighting corruption? Listen, what have you done in fighting corruption? Give me one thing you've done in fighting corruption. Both the coup about you. Tell me one thing you've done. I don't want to fight against for the past 3 years. For the past 3 years, corruption perception in this, we are standing. 4-3-4-3. You are telling me you are fighting corruption. Tell me how you are fighting corruption. Tell me how you are fighting. Tell me how you are fighting.
You take it as a fact.
Tell me, give me one instance.
It means that you are naive in all those instances.
We'll give you an example.
You want to tell me that digitalization is
no, it's okay. No.
Digitalization is not.
That is not. This is
get your AE right. Get your AE right.
Theoretical.
Get your AE right.
Practically, you can't. Listen, one. So give me one example. It's as simple as give me one example.
Corruption, corruption fighting. Digitalization.
Digitalization is fighting.
Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?
Oh, you don't see that they are tracing.
Where? Tell me.
It's my turn.
When you get the platform with other people, you can say,
Thompson.
I'm not saying that, but you are misleading them.
Keep quiet. It's not you. I'm talking to my audience.
You are misleading what?
You think
in my presence, will it allow you to mislead them?
Threshold in PPA. You want to redefine PPA? Please forget it. I won't allow you to go that's the modus operandi of NDC, and that's what you're following up on. Then now,
Your Excellency.
Thompson.
So can say, one minute now. Who has it can because the other topics we discussing.
That's what I'm working there. Some time ago, just last month, in an infant for your Ghana, Yama Attorney General, 1 month to retract that comment there, infantful, were cheap. And he has not responded. The president has heard this. I'm paying some fans. Don't blame anybody.
Okay,
because so or your more general agenda there, you don't respect any tribe. It cannot be the fantasy. So I'm using your platform to remind the Attorney General that you're not fanciful, you're cheap.
Okay, that's it.
The second question I'm maybe saying there, Alfred, it's a sweat.
I'm not sweating at all. Don't think I'm sweating. Come and check.
Fourth expedition and Mahamoko Rian over him. Say, Apia.
Did anyone use the word Mahamako?
I didn't want to use
that word.
But the brower, the user. I was so cramped in that.
Okay, yes, sir. That's it. Just about 30 minutes to talk about two.
You are telling me that I'm not serious.
I'm not saying you are not serious. Let's be serious about these things.
I don't know about what do you mean?
Obi imagine here. Send a
Alfred Thompson, I am just being respectful to you because
I've also been very respectful to you.
Please don't go on that line.
I've also been very respectful to you.
Don't insult anybody on this platform.
I've never insulted anybody and I won't insult anybody.
Your Excellency Pacho.
When he was saying certain words, he couldn't stop it.
Like what?
Oh, please.
See,
you think it's funny because you've been pushed
digitalization.
You want to sit there and
about stop corruption. Apia, are you listening to me? Digitalization will stop corruption. What has Kelly JVG
everybody is
done?
Over there, everybody is seeing.
What has Kelly JVG done?
Because it's fun for you.
What has SML done? Say
PDS.
Say digitalization in the edible corruption that more defeat in the sun because the digitalization and when you insert on Kelly JVG, what about him chrono?
Okay, me that's it.
Again, SML, what about him chrono?
It's easier for the
back to
hide papers.
Yeah, but you 30 minutes. But you bet me I said that you bet me discuss your topical issues too as discussing. Finance Minister apologized to Ghanaians. Emma DDEP you know. And who should so say this etie. Through this DDEP, yenya nipa say be binu kura kom krechi. Yenya mpanifo a pensioners a ekọ piketi ye enye bakonye mienu a omoda so ampo eye. A omoda so adwendwe ne ma ho saa. Na yenim said ye edisa susuanso ne beba. Na de ye nim said susuanso hofuru bi beba. Ene atena se amana du babi aduru no. Aba wi hwa homa ahokira nkrofo ekomu. Enti afa na ye pacho for what? 5 minutes wada Roma. Because you were told somewhere you can so
agreed. We all knew what this DDEP did to us. Globally, we are in the also, not only in Ghana, but we are focused on our own. Now, even though says here we are coming out of this, you who say even the growth rate at a particular point in time, we had to take a strong pill It was a matter of either Obefa pay or no, and now Wofa. Wofa, these are the consequences. So people would have to lose some interest on their investments near there. But one thing we should know, in the financial world, they'll tell you investments are two ways. Either you make profit or you make losses. At that critical point in time, we needed to cut our losses and then move on so that the country will reshape and regroup and come back to its normal feet. What can I very well say? Time I COVID assembly in our buy, I could say something significant. But people did not understand it. Say, listen, we know how to bring a country back to life, but not bringing human beings that are dead back to life. So when this thing happened, we needed to take a critical decision. Either we are at the crossroads. Either we will not take the DDP, pay them, and the whole country will suffer for whatever consequences we are going to face. We will bring the country to a halt.
And the whose fault?
It was a growing concern. You can't blame it on one person. It was a growing concern. It was a growing concern.
It's even some kind of for no power. And as a party being off power, Front no power, CPP no power, and I can cause that to be anymore. And I said, I will come in and come back on paper. Say, be a
if they are blaming us, they can blame us. We are not running away from anything.
Okay.
And we will not run away from any challenges that we face. And then I catch them and say, whatever challenges we are going through, we'll bring this country back to life. And we are doing it. We are working on it. And that is why Finance Minister took the bull by the horn, which a lot of people cannot do, and come and say that, yes, we are sorry that this happened. But we had to do it at that particular point in time. Because the country could have crashed. And we didn't want to see this country crashing. We've seen it before, where things went haywire and revolutionary and everything took over. We've seen it before, where even revolution came in and we didn't see the tail of whatever was going on. But still, no, we supported to make sure that the country grows. Now, we've gotten to a stage where globally everybody was saying that there was a global economic crunch. But everybody saw that there was a global economic crunch. And I even gave you an example. Say, even at the time of COVID, containers are would back country, even from China, it to be costing $1,000. It's to $4,000, $6,000 near there. Obilas many niggas was saying sometimes it can move even higher than that. It tells you that everybody was taking advantage of the situation that was happening. Inti Aba, Enyaba. What do we do? Let us take serious decisions that will help make sure that the country will not crash. And that is what we did. But after doing that and the country coming back on track, now you come to your people and tell them that, listen, I'm very sorry, sir, I had to do this. But I did it to save the country from going further down. But I don't think anything is wrong with that. The American say, in fact, he's done a yeoman's job by admitting, say, yes, there were challenges. And we are apologizing for that.
The then finance minister, the former finance minister, Ken Oforiatta, Ebabeka DDP, who's a man. Oka and say, Tibia Yedrum, no, say this is a Sianya sa ebe hardly. A voluntary. Bedu baby no, a binum kasi yenye. Yenya no, I won't say be by. I'm a nene na yakase kurano. Still now, no bondholders. Penifonu bi still na omo wofu bi omo ye demonstrations strike omo consensus no yen share that meeting.
Which bondholders consensus na meeting? There's a difference between the bondholders and the former defunct banks.
Debbie said DDP some near.
All right.
ATM share say if you can bring the economy back, but the human life to me farmer back. Nipa womo ede akomapa. Nipa wo musika na da ho ye o ma legitimate money ayeji ade ye no edu baby o mo peketi of finance ministry the finance minister was asking them say he doesn't know why they are there amadidi mu abedu baby ewe nipa wonya stroke egugu dem mu through this DDEP nipa ahwe o mo kwa through DDEP no you take those into consideration achopa na ye pa no betumi ama bibia to atwa de necessary ye sense ye kasa ye no ye said them to interest can nyina mpo farmer wo mo ebinu dia mature no so ye said nche ni nyina farmer wo mo nti let say
they are paying in faces
yes nti what nansen ya be last week mo baby last week wo mo a individual bondholders yi and some of beke kan ne go so be sam peketire na so after apology kura no wo ma ba be ka say the apology will not solve any problem Say Omusika Finance Ministry, the science Omusika no yam and Kaumosinus for.
Oh,
After the apology,
they do get it. When we say once the thing matures, it goes through stages before it's credited into your account. It doesn't come straight away into your account. In the mature and that, maybe I say if I will. By the time a baby, it could take about, sometimes it can take 2 days, it can take 3 days, it can take 1 week before you get it. And they are entering a finance minister by Obesrom or Kachom say, yes, we have had to go through this, take this bitter pill. Besremo, BBR. But you see,
and we've taken the young car we actually Ghana for.
Isn't it better late than never?
Okay.
Isn't it better late than never?
Okay.
When people lost, listen, and let's get this straight. You see, when you go and invest money, now we will say ABI close here. Remember the financial institutions that were closed down. You remember at that time, the then president, what he told them, he has under no obligation to pay anybody. Under no obligation. When these things happen and there is bankruptcy that is the end of the firm. We didn't want the country to be seen as a bankrupt country, so we had to take certain things, measures for us to re-strategize and remove.
Okay.
And that is what now today, we are seeing over 3% growth. We are seeing over 3% growth. Inflation is rising to about 50-something%, has come down to about 20-something%, and it's still going to move down.
Okay.
Because constantly we are working to make sure that the people ease from the pain that we've been through.
Okay.
That's not the first time we've been through pain. And people do not come and apologize. But we've taken it as I say, we are in power. At least, yeah, power no, yeah, more, but I say, but yes, remora. Yeah, share the other name. Yeah, share how we can make sure that they are one head also.
Okay.
We should protect what we have and make sure that this does not occur.
Okay.
And the measures that we will put in place to make sure that this does not occur, that is what we are doing.
But that's it. Yeah, my main call your excellency so answer my bam no so na your excellency just about 5 minutes. Say no compare on me. The atwam my phone with them but nibia ma bia fa che me. Then we move on in the relationship work corporate you cry BBA near a patch on BBA to and it's a finance minister about patch. I think say it ends there. Let's move on as a country. Any one no.
Can't worry some. Young can't worry some. No. Say ya papa back ahomachino baka sachasi chemwaka. What we are talking about is a deliberate attempt by a government to destroy this country and the economy.
Can you imagine?
And let me show you why. And I'm surprised that a man like Alfred Thompson will sit on television and still refer to COVID as an external factor inside your dumb problem.
And come
Good question.
Good question. Rebisa.
Oba sika yenye no COVID. Say throughout the year 2 years and say ya keke yesika boma na nche yentum ama yenye dam revenue no. COVID ben na COVID kwa wana de bay. COVID wana de bay.
Say if Russia.
China bay. Yaji wo difi President Ukro Norway.
Can you imagine?
President Ukro Norway. Obey the Norwegian ambassador ana on trip papa do ko wi.
COVID.
So you use COVID which you imported into this country. COVID. This time will be as well be to extort from the people. COVID is no. Thompson, I can Auditor General's report on the COVID usage of the COVID.
The president knows the way. Auditor General's report.
On your time.
What is the question? Or fraud, Thompson?
No.
Don't waste my. What is the program? Nobody, no member of the government has the right or will be given the chance to still use COVID as the reason why we are here. Because the COVID, we had more money than we should have had. COVID ban, even IRS, Auditor General, IRS,
revenue, internal revenue.
They had more. They had more money. They had more money than, and they were exceeding on target. 2 of us.
That's true.
So it would be unintelligent for anybody to be still using COVID. COVID, you need $17 million dollars for airport. What happened to it? $17 million. Couldn't you have built another Noguchi? So no, it's unintelligent for anybody to continue using COVID as the reason why we are here. In any case, is Ghana the only country that suffered from COVID? You just copy the examples of other countries. Now, America, 3,000 people die in a day, 2 of us, and more. So their issue is peculiar. Then you just copy that and bring it here. COVID by way advert. No, I could for the nose mark. Advert is not a nose mark. You use the COVID for political campaign. We are the best country that has managed the COVID well. United Nations have COVID bay. What do you hear, Jessica? Health Minister. I'm a commander, Health Minister. Health Minister. Wakra vaccines. Health Minister Wakra vaccines. Vaccines in Sikano Abraham.
Why now can I say me? Former Health Minister. Okay.
What do we want to do?
Must one now who printing or
it is Sikano.
And now you say Najee Ejima.
Sikano, no, okay. As I'm not thinking well. If you say you are not thinking well, what do you do? No,
wow. Ambassador.
Chief, say Obikada, I'm not thinking well. Naturally.
If you are not thinking well,
no, I don't know your wedding.
Okay, yes,
this can only happen under NDC.
This minister has dipped this country using COVID. As usual, Abentin Akufo-Addo only referred this to the OSP. Where the COVID debuted. Even pregnant women and children were put at the airport because we need $150 in India.
Yeah.
They were imprisoned at the airport. COVID, baby, what it is, party agent, or to Onyebi, at First Thompson, Onyebi.
Yeah, I can take you on.
Take me on. Everybody in Boko.
I can take you on.
From
I can take him on. Because make him be I will be by
evidence.
Evidence will follow up.
By evidence. By your party regional chairman be Rabban or the party chairman. Party chairman.
But you are say Alfred Wenyabi. You need to so Yabi.
But the way my minister would distribute
so no your party constituency
organizer. American even NDC even NDC
what for lawyer
the one farm lawyer by
the way my minister also what the chase can. It's possible that better after Thompson Onyebi.
Also Onyebi.
Onyebi
MPs no dey.
Eja Kobna. What is the justification they to COVID levy? To date. To date. Me ya bufabo. No hana after Thompson ala da no kwafo. What bet na ha?
Don't buy anything. Yeah. We are not buying anything. Do your own farm, do your own everything.
When you say possible, sir.
But what is it? Every government puts a levy in for a particular purpose. To pay for some of your debts.
Apart from you, is it
only ended debt?
We can go there.
No, we can go there. Let's go there.
And
don't you have debts to pay? Why do we take tax in the first place? Not only to develop your nation, but to also pay some of your debts. Once their debts outstanding, no, or they go to ya.
And I'm saying COVID tax, no, COVID living near the Chiaka.
They did your debts.
Your son is what your man.
Between baby, you know what I can there. I'm on free water. I'm on free electricity.
And there was you electricity in water.
In there, what they advert.
They intentionally choose to do what they want to do. Where is water and electricity? I make it say where is water and electricity in it?
COVID.
There be all kinds of
malaria, cholera, free water, under NDC, under Mahama. cholera be cholera is serious disease. What's in as man
Alfred me pacho
go say we are being intimate
Mexikroma in the wallet there bye elma munsu elma me kania free anu boy just about 10% of people no when
because we are thinking about them. That's how a good.
You think about people to rob them.
You don't rob them. We talk about them to help them. Something you can do. You have to come on interrupt them. They tell them man because we are under cholera.
Thompson.
Cholera.
There be
it's a serious disease.
Obi enim. They only say obi be mo say now dey.
We so lawyer to say so.
Na say na enjoy dey.
Akasa wa ma
to take you say to what
apology no
sir apology first of all what we should know is that governance is a serious business. Me elected and I mean give CD of my supremacy or supreme power to you for 7 to almost 8 years of my life. We should appreciate that. 7 to 8 years of my life. With the intention, say, oh, Baba setting the structures for me to have a comfortable life. And then at the end of the,
what?
Oh,
no.
Leave him. I mean, it's just that intention is to support the program. We will educate the public. We are not distracted. So listen, the truth of the matter is, and I'm using the word with all emphasis, wasted 7 years into 8 years of my life. And then come back and tell me, say, you apologize. It doesn't make sense. Look, people are deliberately, and I'm saying deliberately, we decided to mess up the economy to bring it to where it is now. Oh. And you think, say we have short memories? And you think, say we have short memories? You don't say we have short memories.
And you're true. Let me use
the word. Let me explain to you. How? Let me tell you. Minister Yamani to me to think wisely for us. It decided said unconstitutionally or stop road tolls. Why not in this country? Who say how? Why not in this country?
They didn't send it to
Parliament. Okay.
What do you mean they send it to Parliament? You don't even know what you are talking about. That's why I told you, say, when you get people like us, don't mislead. You think that don't do that. Please, you understand? Deliberately. And then messing up the economy. And then who pushing it into a chain. Then you turn around and say this. Look, Yatiani has COVID, wine tax, and wine and all that. I was happy you asked the question. Every tax be a raising behind this for a purpose. COVID tax, what is the purpose? It is debts. That's what we are saying. Yeah, the COVID tax you raising specifically for the purposes of COVID, to manage the COVID situation. And then KGM say the tax is still there because we are using it to pay debt. Is that what we are saying? We are paying debt. Is that what we are saying? Look, Anna, prior to 2016, the now is a communication minister. KGM says taxes and you boom maya. Nebo work class 1 said they be to me boom maya.
I said
Busia. And you boom maya. Deliberately, listen, stop that. Deliberately, I am coming to listen. Deliberately, Busia Ahe and ING within the 7 years here. What have we used it for?
Honestly, if you bring Alfred Thompson to this,
what have we used it for? Forget it. I will say what I want to
if like don't come.
The viewers are watching and they are making their own paper.
So next week I'm coming.
They are watching their own paper.
I am coming.
Yet one will say, and you say, outside factors and consumers, Ukraine, you're gonna say, Russia-Ukraine war.
We created it.
Funny enough, when incompetent individuals say their taxes, they should think for us. We're blaming Ukraine and Russia. No.
during the period of war, no, it has it on record, say, that was when Russia, currency became the strongest. They were involved in the fight. And yet, what's the distance from Ghana to Ukraine? Yet, because they were thinkers leading the country. Even in the midst of war, that was when their currency became strong. What is our currency as we speak now? Yesidi to dollar. And we know that it is the currency that affects everything as far as economy is concerned. And yet the people are because they were so incompetent, they were relying on a fight somewhere. Based on the fight, Russia was benefiting from it. Russia, who was part of it, was benefiting from it. Today you sit here, and with all these incompetencies, you come around and you come and tell us, you are sorry for that. When was that we are sorry for it? When the PDS issues were happening. Where were all those things? We were sorry for that. What was happening when we were convinced, say, the dollar CD, the CD has been, or the dollar has been arrested, one of it has been arrested and has been put to jail and all that. Obreki jail, where were the economic management team, the thinkers? Who were supposed to think for us? Where were they? Yeah, Gigi Sika, ye did be a rented private jet. Huh? Yeah, Boyo Sika. Ye did be a rented private jet for people to just be in it. Now the thinkers, those who are apologizing now, where were they? Okay. So deliberately, you caused this mess. And I'm saying this because you see, the bottom line is, it is 7 years of my life.
Okay.
You don't go and mess my life 7 years and come back and apologize and be telling me, say, whatever.
That's it.
And I stand with you when he says a deliberate destruction.
A deliberate destruction.
Let me explain why.
Would you so that they will benefit? This is the evidence. These 7 years, how many people have enriched themselves? Okay. And yet, if it's not the family and a handful of people, if it is not deliberate, unfortunately, you are here talking about it. You didn't even benefit from it. You are here talking about parties. What we are talking about,
which party's interest?
What are you talking about? Defending the indefensible. That's what you are talking about.
I'm not talking about government.
Which one is that?
Because you are allowing them to do that. So bring people against one.
Don't say don't
allowing them to do that.
Thompson unim. The patrol be pray. Need you more. Ejuma ye. Opinion to be benkum shi. Obaha ema the politics the
candidate
the movement. I wouldn't so a frantoni. Abranch or twas way. Obaha as Obi or den home as independent person or man who has been so be patrol or to be when
did I become a CP?
And your excellency so or so by our edison and I won't so buy a 1 PP near bending into Obia or Najini, I was said you who near my fan into big share Najini or Chandra and yam me and I may make catch and say who can wait
That
was it. I mean,
attacking me.
What
interrupt? The two of them didn't do it. The two of them didn't do it. But me, your man will complain. No,
Afraid only. Meaning say I dream being at the so premise to say, but I stand with me or can say deliberately not destroy economy. And man minister now
this is arrogance.
Who said 2015? Who says all manage economy? And you say
the trade
debt sustainability no very critical.
Yeah.
Very critical because so debt was too much a poison economic environment no private sector intimate grow because they'll be crowded out. Into no government be no roll out play with economy no one critical we say debt management. Yanka say 2015 year call IMF, NDC for the year call IMF. omni kwa IMF no not debt to GDP ratio at the same because you say to manage or money year panel ideally an optimal debt to GDP ratio no should be about 50-55%. Now some of the call IMF no not debt to GDP ratio no 72%. And now me can be Thompson can be ye bomo ye size more heavy and now they call IMF almost your debt sustainability but not the levels do levels are in here say DDEP now MPP for about power another about power 2017 about power no not debt to GDP ratio na 57%. By 2019 not debt to GDP ratio at 78%. The end is the record 72. By 2019, not debt to GDP ratio no, at 78%. Today do XCD levels now. You criticizing Mahama. Say, friends say, oh, economy no. By 2019, no, now you need to 78.
That's not COVID aba.
Not COVID and buy. Not COVID and buy. Now 78%. Now open my check it.
That's right.
Now, from the question we should be asking ourselves, let's say, and then thing that between 2 years, a can here na yetimi a jama ye debt to GDP ratio, it me drew 78%. Young guy said GDP no between 2017 and 2020, a rise could do by 77 billion. Because Tamana is saying 72%, now GDP around 60 something billion. Tama they call 78 we say no. The young guy say IMF also so ye laws Fiscal Responsibility Act. I think sir a day in no no na untimi o deficit untimi exceed 5%.
Yeah.
Or more no money friends saying finance minister ne Bawumia we say no and Nanado no. So we share ma na deficit exceed na ye catch mo. Am the go J Eurobond 3 billion. Sir COVID dia okay. He said, "Come on, we no." A friend say, "Esla bonds, sense of debt. Esla bonds, say, called GSN, can be CSC energy sector no. Esla, he said, what is the level of the debt in the energy sector? Has it been dealt with? Esla, see, can I call the G? I know, Mama, yeah. Omuba, say, and Nina, Omunchim. Omudi CSC debt now, what energy sector na. So, sir, excuse me, say, Russia, Ukraine, COVID, from the pit of hell, from the familiar spirit, I don't do a part anymore. Sir, excuse me, say, COVID reason, because by the time COVID by no time, and look at say, there's some finance minister and country. So, call IMF. Come on, you call IMF, and you're going to accuse you're born to join your call IMF. The IMF not present in the decision. Upon the advice of Ori Alantamate, we need choice. Alantamate, I'm interview kind. Or disputing. Tamana or more and now John Kuma any military work of Deputy Minister for Trade or the Sankra Aquawi Beefy. Say, Omukwame because in Kolan Kolebi Castle coming. So not debt to distribution and 80-something%. No more so no more politics no more just again Ghana for the catch it is sad did go economy no clearly we have to practically force them to go to Ireland no more politics no how they impacting votes on some of we constitution in Ghana nanka we talk about distribute Ghana forward the oye constitution in Ghana. The only conversation, hey, I just say you tweet try na
it's not about getting power.
It's not about getting power. It's not about giving. It's not about giving. It's not about giving governance because we can't say. Come on, you force it and with a principle. Come on now, I'm the end. 72% no. Yeah, you know, me can be. Thompson can be. You almost say, must say economy no IMF 72%. If they do, then I'm a bomb a catcher. I'm not saying a cannot any problem, but he's a better manager of a canon. One is apology a crap. Okay. So also a genuine, some genuine person because the catcher say for 7 years maintain book money.
Yeah.
7 years the part of me part of the Sansan can me part of me economy maintaining ye. So what you year to them on what basis are you put yourself up again? First to vote for you again. On what basis? It is to afford our apologize. Sorry, I'm not contesting. No, so serious.
Me that's it.
Hey.
Apology.
Say apology.
Nti pacho. Yanko. Ya bre no kraso. Because I can say ka to hu asem.
Oh, you don't know
this Legon me ahodo to na ya jerga no na.
Jacob na.
Nti we dey adahoma ne yanko.
Apology. Does it reverse the Kakum River, Pra River? Sincerely, why a T now? Then why a T? Does it reverse that? Apology here. You render sincerely. Uncle for who will out of dialysis. Would they bring them back? Why is the president not saying there? Ghana fu. Yes, say money. Nancy, if you never quit, must reduce the size of my expenditure.
What practical thing are you doing?
What is the government not saying that? Apology, Alfred. Na trade fair no mubu. Trade fair no mubu.
Respond.
Trade fair no mubu.
My excellency pacho kwa wasam ne yanko.
Sa Jacob na Mr. Apology na trade fair no mubu.
And in La General Hospital.
Na trade wasan baby wa.
Check La General Hospital if they are not doing it.
Fear. I agree with Thompson, a friend there, Willie. You have wasted Ghanaians your life. 8 years. Wasted.
Upon the infrastructure.
Thank you.
And
thank you. You don't see infrastructure across the country.
Where is it? Tell me.
You don't see it.
Okay.
Road
networks.
Compared to the money you have spent.
By January,
compared to the money you have taken.
By January
you are born not to
2022, and now a ban a set committee, 40-member committee, to arrest the dollar. No, but we count. That ban a COVID by.
Causing financial loss to the state. South committee no
them apology. Okay, PDS no one. The Bawumia in his office with some ministers changed conditioner. Obama yenya the public of America. Does it change it? We are a sovereign country. America we lost $190 million. And yet the council on a law knocker and causing financial loss no one. Where deliberately Alfred, you don't Jamaican funds for us and Jamaica I want. Would you let Jamaica there fancy for you?
Often no bema ebe hard you to your excellency pacho make you and pacho. And I'm tell me so of bema of obodin. Enti pacho mo to yen come pacho.
Asem am kan yi de. It's fancy. Oh fancy.
Papa mtum kapa.
Me de.
No.
And no mudwin da me kan fancy for asem bi. Alfred obeka bi. O say no e fancy.
No so nka.
Ne ma me ni fe mo so ma me fe.
No so nka.
The politics I
said me that say ye kwajito yes tolu me find innovative ways
and say be ka ho asam no owo there ye try amakwata for causing financial loss to the state, for breaching the laws of Ghana. So finance minister the budget ba that's why I'll prove here. Does it give anybody the right to go
and want to talk about
but
that?
At the time now,
like seriously,
what you told me? No, 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 there. Be possible. Yeah, you come be possible. Yeah, quite jebuso. I renovate. Yeah, see, toll for the plaza. Yeah, renovating baby, fe. Tamajisu Damara and other places. Since I'm upon the academy, I drive. I come tap a tama.
And my penny say, what shall I say? Innovative ways.
No, not here.
There are some areas are Papa or East Legon, or Ridge, or Cantonment, or Laboni. Say one cast Papa in Anamho, or more Papa, Bomuntia too, to be a call Ashamai, or be a call Kaswa, or be a consamuno, or the Tia Tuntino. I see a innovative ways. I bet you that you say, it's a conversation about finance. Labon no money as if we are going to do so no.
Minister, all your Labon no kwanin, Baumia, we Minister, all your my friend and cantonments come Baumia, we then I don't look home one, and one yet. The most innovative way I can end this region there, you're the boss of them problem in there. There, every year, you insurance nazi. So what we intend to do is to have this smart number plate.
Right.
It's what you call the smart number plate. You have to renew it every year.
Yeah.
And on this, number plate, if your insurance or roadworthiness or papa ubohu. I want to edit road to no, so everybody will pay. That's a smarter way.
Depending on the type of code, depending you sue and answer day. Maybe I mean you sue me car that day. No be you sue.
What number plate no? What number plate no? Sir, obifia, when you car time register, when you car new rubber. It's here. So roadworthiness. Everything is insurance. Say police for boko dibia. Who would have car insurance? We want to do we. That's a simple way. Introduced by this.
This is Obia Betuebi.
Obia Betuebi.
Yen for tone could see is Legon.
No, because that tone Alamponarian of course the traffic.
Okay.
An inconvenience. You understand?
No, but when beneath one in the jail for some mobile no more bed here.
Oh, when you get to the border now, you'll be given a ticket, a certain
okay. That's it.
Now, but that is Baomiani Kanji. Unfamo.
That's it. Your time and so more boss bank ban said. Now, a tone in Kenya Belgian is saying. Tone on Payambe say Belgian. Yakoji Laboni Belgian.
Then, very friend, then insurance nor can once, and it's part of the digitalization. I won't hunde why a BBR. It's part of the digitalization. I won't hunde why a BBR.
That's it.
You see, when people are working, and when we are working, we are serious about our work. Baumia will forever remain a serious candidate who provides solutions, bold solutions for the development of this country. Okay. Rather than going to stand there and instead of saying things that the solutions or the pragmatic things you are going to bring are obobuahin ma mpuntu abagana ha baba beji na hona ka chen there na about miaze o ekohwi na about miaze a Japan document. A Japan document you've used it 2016 one year juma. You used it 2021 year juma. You've renewed it again in 2024. If you don't know about winning elections, when we are using smart solutions
a Japan
document, it started in 2016. It started in 2016. Well, check, and it's always been updated.
Updated in favor of.
This smart solution.
There are various ways of doing this, and now one of the challenges are oral which is a serious thing. When you go to UK, there will be an inner perimeter. When you are entering the inner perimeter, also charges are overcharged because they are doing that to let less cars go there and more buses, and it saves your route. Until you look at all these things, and that is why from motorway started work they are adding more lanes to it. Actually, from Kaswa to Winneba Junction, they are honorable offer every weekend. They are doing the underground and everything on Ankasa enjoy before the end of this year. These are innovative ways of making sure that your road is working. You can use the inner perimeter charges. You can use the inner perimeter charges. You can do other things. I've seen the document from what you call DVLA. It's there, but they didn't want to introduce that around this time because we are looking at other charges. I mean, when people are suffering in a situation that you don't add more injury to their
license service charging atum simple
you are paying maybe 5 cedis extra for a whole year.
Paying 5 cedis
extra for a whole year.
Who said extra 5 cedis?
Even last week I renewed my thing.
Okay,
so what we are saying is we'll look at a solution, a bold solution that will help everybody. That will help everybody. You don't need, and we are going to do it in such a way, say, you don't need the person, lawyer to come and stand there, or can register. Now, what we'll do is electronically. The electronics now, we'll introduce the electronics and it will do all those charges. If it's inner, I give you an example. Inner perimeter can be used. When you come into the inner perimeter, you get a charge.
Inner perimeter,
that is what he's saying, that we should all sit down and agree. It shouldn't be one person there on or impose. We all sit down and agree. But this is the idea I brought out. And he's giving you areas. He gave you Laboni, he gave you Accra district, he gave you Roman Ridge, he's giving you Ridge, he's giving you East Legon, he's giving you areas. I mean, those are areas. Most of the time, now we'll add even more tar to their road, even though it's not going wrong. So these are things that are share. So at the end of the day, whatever we will do, we'll both all sit down and agree and make sure that everybody comes on board. Okay. You are going to work with the GPRTU, you are going to work with the taxi drivers, you are going to work with the AE. So you are not going to force solutions on them. You are going to sit down with them and let them buy into the idea before you sell it out.
Okay. And you say, lawyer,
things without them. We do things with them.
Still going for more casa que c'est pas.
In fact, you see, we kind on two issues I say. Because we see about how you manage and finance infrastructure, road infrastructure. Because that's the purpose. Now we improve infrastructure, we maintain infrastructure, and yet the problem is bigger than two. I just say what you say. So one, or come about Laboni areas no, so we devolve central power. That's why you proper decentralization. In terms of fiscal decentralization and political decentralization, Laboni for taking care of rules and your central government issue. That's the first we see. Two, it's high time, and I'm surprised that young director attention because the PPP Act. The focus of that act, Public-Private Partnership Act. And the focus is how do we attract private investments into public rules. So operation at the end holistically finding where are the incentives, fiscal incentives, non-fiscal incentives. No, my private sector for no handle most of the major rules. No, oh yes, sir. Then you be dealing with the problem holistically. Over your GTP planning, you're dealing with it and my solutions. Alan Temantin dealing with it comprehensively. So one about decentralization issue. Because Ghana, we are joking with the whole decentralization. Because you get proper development if you get proper decentralization. And you saw the NBO into fiscal about ability to even raise their own money. Over here fiscal decentralization, over political decentralization. Teba area Quina, say Laboni, cantonments, Jamestown. On one kasa. It means enough sika. Among some issues. Now what's a share PPP nimu kena? What I say, one man both fiscal incentive or fiscal incentive to private sector to get their investment into infrastructure. The hono sa toli because me anga sama yeme kwa no. Me jito no. The hono me use best techniques no. Let us say to ensure say messily all avenues are be lose sika. In maintain then at that point are buying sikana de be HSB biano. One, a bit cut down corruption. Two, a bit release financing for a buying to then deal with certain because Ghana or buyer and I'm saying I agree with him. No, economic structures. Who build the economic structures are one of the critical economic structure or transportation system. Yeah, my road in quality use. What then happen to your rail? Then happen to your water bodies. Instead of say friends saying you got Husika amount for in passing. Sakaya year or done another things year. We'll be using all those means of transportation. You're creative. You're creative. And who you told na cantonment told that is I won't say new solution. Yeah. And that's the solution is one. Then your proper decentralization. PPP. Yeah. Then finding ways of attracting private sector investment through fiscal and non-fiscal investment. And with GTP, a woman campaign. Yeah, but now you release the funds for other to build the structure of your economy. No, now my enough prosperity.
Honestly speaking, this road to Adi. I mean, and not just hearing it from Baumia or reading from Baumia, but also listening to my brother here. It does clearly say that is why at Ghana we are where we are. Because it looks like we don't even appreciate what policies are relevant and what we need as a country. Yeah. Look, what is the rationale behind to say, okay, even inlands, what's the name? Cantonments,
Laboni, wherever. To extend crowd, who bet me crowd back and say, look, and then say me I mean me scan me see apartments, now me create community on 1 acre, 2 acres. Baby and your acre conversion, you better say honeymoon cry about you two or honeymoon. But that is not the rationale.
Yeah.
It is about decentralization. Yeah. Remember, cantonments in other places are they fall under a municipal. Yeah. And now I mean say they have their own ways of taking money, particularly from the commercial workers, taxi drivers near there. Isn't it part of the tolls? So the question is, and yet the number of tolls are be created and the best solve problem. This policy shows clearly say we don't even appreciate, and wherever the policy is coming from, of course from his boss Baumia, it shows clearly say we don't even appreciate the problems affecting us as a country. Decentralization is key, and that is what we need. So with decentralizing now, putting the right structures in place. I was looking for a petition but I can't find it on my phone. Made him a special prosecutor on Amuakwa Tatam or close to down road too. In the petition I got from the then finance minister the amount of money Ghana you make it every year from road tolls as it stands now. Question is, what have we been doing with that? And now I say, is it Ashama, one of the roads before we close to road toll, right after the toll booth, you move into a pothole
and more.
Are you getting it? So the question is not about how much money we are bringing in, and that is why I'm not misleading now. We are into debt because every day is about it is not about practically putting structures in place to ensure what we need is fiscal discipline in this country. And yet the tolls are the back. Catch him and say, hey, very soon, because you breathe in cry, you pay taxes on it. And now cry, you want to put tolls or taxes on it. That is not what we need as of mine. And we must structure our tolls laws or policies very well so that places like cantonment, wine will pay tolls. You know, the person doesn't even appreciate problems that is affecting us as a country.
That's it. Ya de besia na madam nyina asese bunya kwan na mobile
this month we are launching a manifesto.
Talk oh ba me invite ambassador ba me se baba be cover and no pay mama fast da ma bejo for so wo mobile na ye de nkontwetwe ehye so na ansa na ye be sori so no mama mfa sa ho kwan an wishe nipa bi birthday and on birthday and Frank Apia Dankwa Joyce aka Yatima ni chocho muncho ene na woda enti Frank Apia Dankwa ayefrɛ yawo wo America ene yama happy birthday pa oba Kwame enhira ohene Dankwa ana Joyce Mensa say omuma happy birthday sanso ena Collins ene ye Collins no say wawoda efri kwawo bipon na so ufikwa obipon ene wawoda Collins wo kwa ufikwa obipon ne wawoda nti abo se me kan say oma happy birthday na ne kura no ba kwa ha na ka besem de ntwa mansa na so mehu dia ene na me ka say matade am hye se de si efe atade perfect man for ne pam de ma me efe yi papa nti styles bebre type bebre ni design bebre ni colors bebre ebi your pam sen ebi up and down ebi so ye short sleeve long sleeve in the tits away short sleeve bebre am so regional mama hwe efe papa nti ubetuma free perfect man for 0244 114 7212 0244 147212 say Philip Enterprise okoha obenye ni nyina bi wo obetumi nya bi na wahye anope meda production team nase na mada owura Alfred Thompson Nkane deputy managing director ma NIB meda nase papa Mr. ma show me mama bo me mama ne mama ma me se ma show bo me bro this way nsuru kra next week me de baba and afi lawyer Apia Dankwa or a private legal practitioner and now sanka movement for change ho into Alan ni papa no and Emmanuel Wilson or anti-corruption campaigner one also and a shaky kia or na for excellency some piyale one also the as usual or your regular guest was show you so and woman in ababe boy ma ye better woman in us papa paso nya brebe na mom yes sorry suyi me answer me schedule dey say me kasen bi the way our men be treating the citizens no and the trauma in kuntu so treat two citizens here o man ko nanim so o kan mo hyen so a o man ko fam enti de ye nyina no yan dwen vulnerable so no ho sa issue here wa hai or say people with disabilities demand passage of amended disability act mo hwena mo nyama omo ewura yi a ye frɛ no Chirema or you disabled. Now so ene Paralympics omu ye no wakokwaji gold e de Ghana. One way able so no entimi anye or you disabled waje. One moment ni nie mo me nyama omo wate. Na ne oni bia sam wo we aya na ya. Idi besia ye ho aya domo a da se ne ye behia. Ya kra mo nyina mo ene hwe.